I've heard everyone, mainly my grandma and some other dudes online, say that Makarov is one of the most evil villains of all time, but I've made over 85 villain reviews. I've done some of the most evil dudes that have ever evil duded. Hans from Frozen People, the Wet Bandits, a shark, Knack, the Weasel. There is no way Makarov is more evil than Knack, the weasel. Welcome back to Villain Review, episode 86, and today we are looking at Makarov from the Call of Duty Modern Warfare series. Shout out to Call Me Woody for suggesting Makarov on one of the Outer Wild streams. If you aren't tuning into those, you're missing out, man. They're good stuff. Is Makarov a trash villain, or is he the bomb? Let's break him down.
Enemies believe that they alone dictate the course of history. That all it takes is the will of a single man.
Thanks to the most hated man of all time, General Shepard, we get some super secret info on the kind of man Makarov was before we see him in the game. Graduating from, I don't want to try to mess that word up, military academy as a captain, a very young Makarov got his start as a paratrooper for the 98th Guards Airborne Division. Makarov would then join the Spetsnaz and then get kicked out. But then this guy Zakiv would say, "Hey kid, do you hate the West?" And Makarov would say, "Heck yeah, man, I hate the West." "Alright, lit, come join my anti-West movement then." Okay, sounds fun. So if I'm being honest, I see some good things in this origin and some bad things as well. Starting off with the bad, I don't think Makarov was really planned out from the beginning. He's not even in the original Modern Warfare, so they need to try to put him into the story wherever they can. It's not done in a bad way or anything like that, but for the alleged overarching villain of the whole entire franchise, I just wish he was involved in the original game more. The origin story itself isn't particularly interesting, and I feel like it's just trying really hard to convince me that, oh, this guy has a lot of military experience. What I do like, though, is how they show that something about Makarov was always kind of off. Like, he's always been kind of crazy. Hey Tommy, hey Bobby, hey what's up man, hey, you know what would be really funny? If you went and gave Makarov the cheese touch. The cheese touch, dude, say less, I'm on it. Hey Makarov, cheese touch.
It is not about the cheese touch, it's about touching the minds of the people.
The motive of hating the West is fine enough, and while it's not special or anything, it makes sense enough for the universe, and I'm not going to be mad about it. In fact, that's kind of how I feel about the whole entire origin. It's just not special, I'm not going to remember anything about it, but it serves its purpose well enough. And while a better origin would definitely make him a better character, what we get doesn't really make him any worse. So when it comes to Makarov, I got a lot of complex feelings. Yeah, just like the origins. He's not in the games a whole lot, so that kind of hurts him. But when Makarov is on screen, boy, oh boy, does he make it worth it. I don't want to get too much into the scenes because I got a whole category for that, but all these scenes where we actually see Makarov, they're all pretty good. But as far as personality goes, again, I think it's kind of a mixed bag. Unlike Game of Thrones, I'm going to start with the bad here. I know that I just said that some of the scenes are good, but because he's not in the game that much, we don't get a whole lot of time to actually see what kind of personality Makarov has. I feel like a lot of what we know about Makarov, we only know because somebody told us in some news report or something like that. Some things are definitely supported, like the fact that he is a sadistic maniac who likes to cause a bunch of chaos, but you can't tell me Makarov has like defined personality traits. It's not a big Makarov problem either, because I think a lot of people in the Call of Duty story have this problem, especially that idiot Commander Shepard, for whoever saw that video. But again, what we get is fine, but it's not good enough to make Makarov a really good standout villain, in my opinion. Look, I know I've just bashed the dude, okay, I've gone crazy on him, but luckily, his two best categories are still yet to come.
Money can buy many things, even power. The road to our future begins here, my friend.
Do not worry, Makarov fans, I got you. I'm about to give this guy some compliments. Not like real life compliments, because he's obviously an awful person, but you know what I mean. As I said, Makarov doesn't have a whole lot of scenes, but a lot of them are very memorable, with some of them being probably the most memorable scenes in the whole entire series. right off the bat, you know what's coming. We gotta talk about No Russian, because it is a very important scene in just the grand scheme of gaming. While I want to preface that everything in this mission is very terrible, like it's all very messed up and wrong, the fact that it makes us feel so unsettled, it's kind of important. I made a point in my Last of Us video a while back that good art makes us feel something, and No Russian definitely makes me feel something, like disgust and just feeling bad and just disgusting, and I hate it. If you want to set up a villain as being absolutely terrible and horrifying, a mission like No Russian, it'll do the trick. It's the most memorable scene in the entire franchise, and honestly, it's one of the most impactful scenes for bad reasons, in video game history.
Remember, no Russian.
Besides No Russian though, there are a lot of other good scenes that prove that Makarov is just a terrible guy. The scene with the president, that's a good opening. Blowing up the city, that's awful, but it's a crazy scene. All of these scenes show us that Makarov is not messing around at all. And while they do show how evil he is, it also makes us just really afraid of him.
Nuclear threat in the city. Nest teams are on site and attempting to disarm. I repeat, we have a confirmed
This man right here, this is the reason I have a category for evil deeds. Because oftentimes the more evil a villain is, the better. And Makarov is super evil. As I said earlier, Makarov has always seemed a little bit off, but what makes him truly evil is how far he's willing to take things, even when he probably doesn't have to. Massacre an airport, nuke a whole entire city. I'm sure that what Makarov wanted to accomplish probably could have been done in a more clean way, but he really doesn't care. Makarov plays his real life like a GTA game where you can just start flying into things and killing people just because you can. It's not only the terrible actions, but it's the weird, sick enjoyment that makes Makarov truly terrible. And like, to make things worse, the dude is smart, right? He outsmarts our heroes constantly. So if he wanted to accomplish these things other ways, he probably could, but he doesn't care. He wants to almost do them in the most evil way possible. At least that's how I see it. If it were off of pure evil alone, Makarov would probably be like 10 out of 10. And while it might seem kind of weird to praise a villain for being evil, it's exactly what makes us hate him and want to take him down even more. And as far as that goes, Makarov succeeds with flying colors.
I know what you have told them. My friend, my ally, my betrayer. What happens here today?
So is Makarov one of the best video game villains of all time? No, I don't really think so. But is he one of the most evil? Yeah, probably. His origins and motive are decent enough, but they're not really special to really make him more interesting. And like I said, his character, it's not really there that much. Kind of like him, it's like an absent father. His whole thing is kind of just, he's evil and smart. But if you want a villain who's gonna show up and be unpredictable and just cause a bunch of chaos, Makarov is your guy. His scenes are always memorable for how awful they are, and he is incredibly evil, but not to the point where it's comical or doesn't seem believable. I'm gonna give Makarov a 7. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, then please hit subscribe. I make a new villain review every single Monday. You don't want to miss a single one. Go vote on the poll for who should be next week's villain, and let me know what you think of Makarov in the comments. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.